guys, how's it going? It's Matt. I hope you guys are having a good day today and an even better day tomorrow. First, let's start off with a review of my plan going into this past week. Ladies and gentlemen, it happened. I finally got my transfer request to go through, so that's it. You'll stop hearing about it. The money is now in the account and we can use it. And that's exactly what I did. So, before I go into the details and current state of my account, I do want to quickly preface something. This transfer request went through on Thursday and was transfer in kind, meaning the stocks from the account were transferred as is and not in cash. So with that being said, I plan to sell most of the positions that were transferred in and add to new or existing ones. But because the transfer request only went through Thursday, which means I could only make changes to the account on Friday, I only had about an hour to make any transactions in the account on Friday. That I was going to be intending to do before the end of the week. So that means that you'll see some interesting numbers and investments that I won't go over in too much detail because they likely won't last long in the portfolio and you likely won't even see them next week. So with that being said, let's go on with the video. Alright guys, so during week 10 of this challenge, I made several last minute transactions for the week. So first, I'll start off with the holdings that I transferred over that I have left untouched. These include 23 shares of gold, aka ABX, on the American exchange, which is for Barrick's Gold. This has an average purchase price of $26.45. That's converted to the US dollar just to make it easier and to visualize in this account. Next is 15 shares of QYLD, which is the Global X NASDAQ 100 covered call ETF. At an average purchase price of $22.33. That pulls in an extra few bucks each month for now, but will likely be cut from this portfolio. So next is 15 shares of AT&T at an average of $27.80, which I will keep in my portfolio for the meantime because I think with everything going on with business transactions and splitting up of assets and cuts to the dividend and everything like that, I think the current price it's kind of a steal. So as of right now, since it is still a green investment for me, I'll probably just let it play out and see what goes with that. So with that said, let's move on to the positions I added to. So finally, I did have the capital to add to my Tesla position, so I did exactly that. I purchased one share at an average price of $6.4450. So this brings my Tesla position in this account to 2 shares for an average purchase price of $626.25. And that accounts for a cost allocation of 13.89% of my portfolio. And next are the new positions that I actually created in my portfolio of companies that have been in my watch list for a while, but I haven't quite been able to get the opportunity to add them. So first, let's start off with 15 shares of Corsair at an average of $29.51. For me, as long as this is under $30, I think it's a pretty good bargain. In total, that accounts for an cost allocation of 4.91%. Last transaction I made was adding 30 shares of Skills, ticker SKLZ, at an average cost of $15.31 for a total cost allocation of 5.09%. And with that out of the way, guys, let's look at a summary of what actually happened to my portfolio over the 10th week of this challenge. So as you can see in the Google spreadsheet here, for the week 10 summary, the best performing holding I had this week was in DraftKings, which I believe is the first time we've actually seen it outperform the others in a single week. So that's really good news for that company. Ticker DKNG had a great jump this week, so it was up 12.65%. My worst performing holding, on the other hand, was Tencent this week. Again, it's not that surprising. It's basically just usually between that and Coinbase. For Tencent though, this week it was down 6.41%. And in terms of overall performance for my portfolio, it was up about $75 or roughly 0.8% this week. And when comparing that to the S&P was about 0.93%. So obviously it's not ideal as it's nearly 15% difference in gains, but that accounts for my account having diluted returns because the contributions made from that transfer that did go through. And in terms of the overall performance from this start, the best performer is still MP Materials, ticker MP. It is still in a very healthy position where if I had more shares, I would consider trimming the position to lock in those gains. However, again, considering the smaller cost allocation for this company, the fees to trim my position would not make the transaction worthwhile when there's still plenty of upside for this company. In terms of my worst performer, It's certainly different this week because it's now with the transferred holding in that of gold. I don't see this as too much of a big deal because it's not really a company that's meant to be in this portfolio, and it's also a gold investment. So obviously when the S&P is doing well or the broader market's doing well, gold doesn't tend to be doing that well. It's more of a hedge against it. So obviously as my portfolio, the rest of my portfolio is doing well, gold typically will not be. So right now it's the biggest loser in my positions, obviously, and down about 21%. And it's the latest addition to my red companies alongside Coinbase and Tencent. All in all, including the fees, the account is down 3.14%, and before fees, that's about 0.75%. So when comparing the portfolio performance to S&P over the same time period with a cost allocation breakdown that I have calculated in a separate page on this sheet, S&P is about 4.99%. My portfolio is still performing significantly worse, but before this month it was significantly better without even accounting for contributions that have diluted the returns in the account. So again, I'm not too worried about it. It's just a bit of a bad month if you look at it in the broader scheme of things. Obviously, when looking at the fees, my account is performing even worse, but as I have said in previous updates, the fees will become more and more meaningless over time as the account grows and don't really indicate the performance of the portfolio itself, especially considering there are no fees in the S&P index that we're tracking. So including the fees in this comparison is obviously not a true one-to-one comparison that we're looking for. All right, and finally going into week 11 of this challenge, I have some buying power, but if any transactions are made, it will be because of capital from selling out from another position, which is very likely this week, obviously, since we do have some positions that we're not planning on holding for too long. So if that does happen, based on Friday's closing prices and earnings reports coming this week, I will be making some changes to my positions, and likely I'll be adding to my Tencent or MP positions, and depending on the capital I have on hand, potentially even Tesla or Teladoc. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, I'll be uploading updates every week to summarize the past week and point out some ideas for the upcoming week. That's it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks again for watching. Peace.